Have you ever looked into the lines on your palm and wondered, who was I before this life? Or felt a strange, unshakable connection to a number, a symbol, or a pattern that seems to whisper ancient truths? What if the final digit of your birth year and a single subtle letter etched into your skin carried clues to your soul's timeless journey? Not just quirks of personality, but echoes from lives long past? Today, we begin a sacred exploration, a journey through time, karma, and consciousness, seen through the ancient lenses of palmistry, numerology, and the profound teachings of the Buddha. Welcome to the threshold, where science ends and the mystical language of the soul begins. In Buddhist philosophy, the self is not a static identity, but a stream of awareness flowing through countless lives, each shaped by karma, intention, and the pursuit of awakening. This life is but a single chapter in an infinite cosmic manuscript. The lines on your hand are not accidents. The year of your birth is not coincidence. They are signatures, dermal symbols of your karmic blueprint. Let us begin with the mysterious M, a rare and natural symbol found in the palms of those born with a deeper spiritual calling. It is not imagined or etched, but marked by the soul itself, a karmic seal formed through lifetimes of wisdom, merit, and sacred responsibility. In Buddhist metaphysics, such markings are karmic echoes, residues of vows taken, roles fulfilled, actions carried through with purpose. The M stands for more than mastery. It embodies the sacred triad: mindfulness, morality, and merit. The pillars of true spiritual progress. Those who bear it are often ancient souls, bodhisattvas in training, called once more to walk the noble path, not for their own gain, but to serve and guide others in a world lost in illusion. Now, consider the last digit of your birth year, a quiet yet potent numerical vibration. In numerology, each number from 0 to 9 holds a distinct energetic frequency. In Buddhist cosmology, these digits resonate with karmic themes, hints from your most recent past life, signposts of lessons learned, and seeds of karma that have blossomed into this incarnation. Take, for instance, the digit 0, the cycle renewer. 0 symbolizes the great void in Buddhist thought, shunyata, emptiness, but not emptiness as despair. Rather, it is the fertile nothingness from which all things emerge and return, the sacred space of potential, the womb of all becoming. If you were born in a year ending in 0, your past life may have concluded with profound loss or profound liberation. You've returned not to repeat, but to renew. You are the karmic reset, a soul born to break cycles, to bring transformation to your lineage, your community, perhaps even your culture. And if your palm bears the sacred M, know this: you are not just a witness to change, you are its vessel, a bridge between endings and beginnings, a spiritual catalyst woven into time. Digit 1. The Dharma pioneer. The number 1 is the sacred spark, the arhat who steps out of the cave, the monk who dares to speak beyond the scriptures. In a past life, you may have been a leader, a spiritual rebel, a visionary teacher, one who challenged tradition and forged new paths through the sacred. Now, you return with the karma of spiritual innovation. The M on your hand magnifies this legacy, but also calls for humility. Lead without ego, guide without attachment. You are not just a seeker, you are a way shower. Digit 2. The peacemaker. The number 2 is the dance of opposites, samsara and nirvana, form and formlessness. In your previous incarnation, you were likely a mediator, a calm voice among chaos, an elder, a spiritual guide, Perhaps even a silent monk tending to balance with every breath. Your soul holds the wisdom of harmony. Today, you're called to heal division within families, communities, and even within your own heart. You are here to restore wholeness. Digit 3. The artist of the Dharma. In the realm of Dharma, art is not mere decoration. It is devotion, meditation, and transmission. If your birth year ends in 3, you were once a creator of beauty with meaning, perhaps painting temple murals, weaving sacred stories into song, or calming minds through rhythm and color. Your art was never just art. It was karma in form. It still is. The M on your hand reveals that for you, creativity is not performance. It is purpose. A Dharma gate in itself. Each number, each marking, is more than a symbol. It is a mirror of your karma. But karma is not a prison. As the Buddha taught, karma is action. And action, when born from awareness, can be transformed. This is the gift I offer you today. A reminder that the signs, in your palm, your birth digit, your quiet knowing, are not limitations. They are invitations to remember, to awaken, to live this life with the wisdom of many. The past is not gone. It pulses through your longings, your fears, your dreams. But with mindfulness, you can step out of unconscious cycles and into conscious creation. So, ask not just, what does this number mean? Ask, what must I remember? What karmic lesson is calling me to complete? In the next phase of this journey, we continue to unravel the mystery, decoding digits 4 through 9, unveiling how they align with your soul's evolution through the 6 realms of rebirth and the sacred vow of the Bodhisattva. We'll also go deeper into the enigma of the M, not just as a spiritual signature, but as a reminder of the 4 noble truths quietly etched into the core of your being. But for now, pause. Reflect. Do you see the M on your palm? What is the final digit of your birth year? And more importantly, what stirs within you as you read these words? That stirring may be the beginning of remembrance, a whisper from your soul, calling you to awaken what was once forgotten. Stay present, stay open, walk this path with courage, because even when you forget, the Dharma remembers. We began by unveiling the subtle wisdom held in the final digit of your birth year, exploring 0 through 3 as karmic echoes, threads pulling this present life from the tapestry of your past incarnations. Now, we continue with 4 through 9. Each number is more than a numeral. It is a spiritual compass, pointing toward lessons once lived and still unfolding. But always remember, this knowledge is not here to predict your fate. It is here to liberate. As the Buddha taught, with our thoughts, we make the world, and with understanding, we remake our path. Digit 4, the silent sage. If your birth year ends in 4, your past life was shaped by solitude and seeking. You may have been a forest monk, a wandering mystic, an ascetic whispering prayers beneath ancient trees. This number resonates with foundations, the 4 noble truths, the 4 immeasurable. But there is a shadow here too, isolation. In this lifetime, you are not meant to retreat from the world, but to return to it with the wisdom found in silence. If you bear the M, it may mark a vow, a bodhisattva promise to carry truth back into the world. Now is that time. Digit 5. The karmic balancer 5 is a point of transition, a turning wheel between past and future, between extremes. In Buddhist symbolism, it mirrors the 5 precepts and the 5 aggregates of clinging, reminders of both discipline and delusion. In a former life, you may have lived in the midst of polarity, as a ruler, a merchant, or a soul tangled in karmic debts. You knew both virtue and vice, gain and loss. Now, your soul returns to balance what was broken, to integrate what was fragmented. The M in your palm affirms, you are here to purify, to become the healer of your own past actions, and perhaps those of others too. Digit 6. The heartful healer 6 is the number of compassions. It vibrates with service, caregiving, and deep emotional wisdom. If this is your number, you likely lived a life of selfless devotion. As a healer, a midwife, a monastic nurse, or a quiet soul who bore others' burdens with grace. But this path, too, leaves echoes. Many who carry this number into this life bear the karmic pattern of self-neglect. You may give endlessly, yet forget to nourish yourself. The M reveals your caregiving is not duty. It is dharma, but your healing must begin within. In this life, you may find yourself repeating vows of selflessness whispered into existence long ago. The mark at the edge of your palm, if present, could be more than coincidence. It may be the signature of a vow made lifetimes past, a promise to serve until all beings are free. But remember this sacred truth: even the bodhisattva must pause to meditate. Even the most selfless soul must learn to receive. Your lesson now is not only to give, but to give with grace, to receive with humility, and to care for the sacred temple of your own body and soul. Digit 7. The Truth Seeker. If the last digit of your birth year is 7, you walk the path of the seer, drawn to study, inner vision, and deep contemplation. You may have once been a scholar of sutras, a guardian of secret texts, or even a challenger of conventional truth. This number vibrates with the energy of the 7 factors of enlightenment and the ceaseless quest for ultimate reality. You were likely close to awakening, perhaps you even glimpsed it, but the mind's attachment to knowledge may have held you back. Now you are reborn not to know, but to be. To let truth move from concept into embodiment. If the M graces your palm, it may be the mark of a teacher you once followed, or once were, reminding you, wisdom must be lived, not merely understood. Digit 8. The Karma Bearer. 8 is the digit of eternal cycles, a symbol of infinity, of karmic wheels turning until they are broken. It mirrors the eightfold path, a sacred map to liberation. If this digit concludes your birth year, your soul may have carried heavy karmic burdens into this life, perhaps involving power, authority, or control. You may have once been a ruler, a warrior, a judge, or someone who held others' fates in their hands. Now, a ledger of karma lies open before you, written in both shadow and light. This lifetime is your opportunity to close those chapters. The M on your palm is not just a mark. It's a mantle. You've earned the right to guide others through their storms, but your greatest test lies in forgiveness. Of others. Of yourself. Only then does the wheel finally stop turning. Digit 9. The Awakening Soul. 9 is the number of completions, of service, and spiritual culmination. If your birth year ends in 9, you stand at the edge of awakening. In your last life, you may have neared enlightenment as a monk, a teacher, or even a quiet soul who gave their life in service. This number speaks of readiness. The soul is ripe. You may feel an inexplicable pull to the Dharma, a quiet knowing, as if remembering something once sacred. The M on your palm, if present, is no longer a mystery. It is a call, a signal that this life is not random, but critical. You are here to remember and to help others do the same. A deeper Dharma, from digits to realms. These numbers do not simply echo past life roles. They whisper of the realms your soul may have passed through before taking human birth once more. Each digit hints at the karmic residue left from one of the 6 realms of samsara. Digit 2 or 6 may reflect time in the human realm, the realm of balance, challenge, and compassion. Digit 8 may echo the Asura realm, where pride, struggle, and rivalry reside. Digit 1 or 7 may carry impressions from the Deva realm, where pleasure and spiritual insight abound, but detachment is rare. Yet it is the human realm that is most precious. For only here, amid suffering and joy, can one awaken to full enlightenment. Your palm, your number, your dreams, they are not entertainment, they are reminders, fragments of your soul's long journey calling you home. They are invitations, reminders, alarms for the soul. We are not here to predict the future. We are here to transform karma into consciousness, to remember that we are more than this fleeting form. We are timeless spirit, walking briefly in human shape, gathering the threads of our many lives into one tapestry of awakening. A sacred pause before we go deeper, before we unlock the ancient meaning of the M sign, pause. Look at your palm again. Trace the digit that called to you. Now, close your eyes. What do you feel waking up within? In the ancient teachings of Buddhism, the body is not merely a shell of flesh and bone. It is a living map of karma, a manifestation of intention. Every trait, every tendency, even the faintest scar is the echo of something much older than this life. The mystery of the M. So, what are we to make of a rare symbol etched into the palm? An M, quiet and unassuming, yet undeniably present. For some, it is bold, formed perfectly at the intersection of major lines. For others, it hides in subtleties, only visible when the light is right or when the seeker is ready to see. Yet its appearance is never random. In Buddhist philosophy, body and mind are not two. The form aggregates are shaped by the mental ones. Our physical features are imprints of thought, of will, pressed into form through lifetimes of becoming. In this light, the M becomes more than a feature. It becomes a karmic sigil, a memory, a seal, a living echo of a vow made long ago. The M as a spiritual vow across many cultures, palmistry has served as a mirror of the self. But through the lens of Buddhism, it is not a map of fate. It is a map of consciousness. When the M appears, especially on the dominant hand, it may signify a vow that echoes across time, a bodhisattva's vow, to return again and again until all beings are free. A healer's vow, to ease suffering wherever it is found, no matter the cost. A seeker's vow, to never stop walking the path to truth, even if it takes 1,000 lifetimes. This mark is not about who you are. It is about why you are here. It whispers, you did not come by accident. You chose to return. What the M reflects about your soul path, Lanais. Let us reflect now on what this mark may reveal about your inner life, your karmic history, your sacred mission. Intuition. If you bear this mark, you've likely spent lifetimes refining perception beyond the five senses. You just know things, not because you were taught, but because you remember. You feel energy. You understand emotion beneath words. You perceive the subtle layers of reality. Your intuition is not a gift. It is a skill, honed by lifetimes of inner listening. You've walked as a mystic before, in cloisters, courts, and caves. But the M is not a mark of superiority. It is a sign of spiritual accountability. Your soul chose again to shoulder the burden of guiding, healing, and awakening others. Not with dominance, but with devotion. Not through force, but through presence. Leadership by light. In past lives, you may have led from a throne, a battlefield, or a monastery. But in this life, leadership must arise from inner stillness and outer compassion. Some spiritual lineages see the M as resonating with Manjusri, the bodhisattva of wisdom, whose flaming sword slices through ignorance, not to harm, but to liberate. Others link it to Maitreya, or Maitreya, the future Buddha, not yet awakened, but destined to embody boundless love when the world is ready. So, if this mark lives on your palm, ask yourself, what part of me is still sleeping, and who might I serve once it awakens? A story from the Sangha. Allow me to share a story. Years ago, in a temple nestled in Chiang Mai, I met a young woman seeking clarity. She had come with a heavy heart, haunted by dreams, standing before crowds, teaching truths she couldn't recall. She woke from them feeling overwhelmed and unworthy. During our quiet talk, I noticed the clear M on her dominant palm. When I asked her birth year, she said, 1991, a year ending in 1, the number of the visionary, the leader. It all began to align. The mark, the dreams, the inner pull to speak, the outer fear of being seen. In meditation, what surfaced was a soul memory, a life where she had been a teacher, silenced by persecution. The vow to speak had gone unfulfilled. And so in this life, the silence had returned. But not from fear, from forgetting. Once she remembered, everything began to shift. She began to write. She began to speak. But more than that, she began to remember herself. This is the power of recognizing karmic symbols. Not to cling to identity, but to reclaim responsibility. The shadow of the M. Yet like all sacred symbols, the M carries duality. It is a sign of immense potential, but it can also carry the weight of unresolved karma. Those with the M often struggle with boundaries, feeling overly responsible for the suffering of others. Experience spiritual loneliness, remembering, without knowing why, the solitude of prior incarnations. Fear their own power, for in another life, it may have been misused. This is why Buddhist practice is vital. Meditation, ethical living, compassionate service. These are not rituals. They are remedies. They purify the residue of past lives and reveal the clarity beneath the karma, the M and the 4 immeasurable. And so we arrive at a deeper layer still, the 4 immeasurable. Loving kindness, compassion, joy in the joy of others, and equanimity. If the M is on your palm, you may be called not only to practice these qualities, but to embody them as your path, your vow, your living mantra. The M may well stand for metta, unconditional loving kindness, the heart of the awakened soul. If you bear this mark, I invite you now to reflect deeply on the 4 Brahma Viharas, the divine abodes of a spiritually awakened heart. Metta, loving kindness, karuna, compassion, mudita, joy in the joy of others, upekkha, equanimity, balance in all things. These are not just ideals. They are the natural states of a spiritually mature soul, the very essence the M seems to magnify. But like all spiritual gifts, they must be cultivated consciously. You are not defined by the mark on your palm. You are defined by how you live it, how you carry it, how you embody its message in a world that has forgotten its own soul. Final passage. Integration. In this final part of our journey together, we integrate all that has been remembered. We look not just back into past lives, but forward into conscious living. We will explore how to align with your karmic path through the clarity of present moment awareness, what it means to live as a modern-day bodhisattva in everyday life, and most importantly, the call to action your soul has always been asking you to hear. The path of remembrance is not easy, but it is sacred and it is yours. If you've come with me this far, it's not by accident. Something within you is remembering. that your birth year was no coincidence. The final digit, a spiritual code, a frequency echoing from vows once spoken. That the M on your palm is not chance, but a karmic map etched by your own soul's resolve. And now, the most important question remains. What will you do with this knowing? Awakening through present moment, karma, Buddhism teaches that karma is not fate. It is not a punishment. It is potential, living, breathing, and ever-changing. Every thought you think, every word you speak, every action you take, you are writing the next chapter of your soul's story. So, pause and ask, am I living in alignment with the lessons I came here to remember? Or still reacting from wounds I never healed? This moment, right now, is where the past meets the present and gives birth to a new future. Rewriting karmic contracts. Many of life's repeating challenges stem from karmic contracts, unconscious vows made in other lives that still shape our experiences. Perhaps you once vowed, I will never love again after betrayal. I must suffer to help others after martyrdom. Power corrupts me after misusing influence. These contracts may lie hidden in your energy field, subtle but powerful, until brought into the light. A simple Tibetan practice. To begin the release, try this ancient practice from Tibetan tradition. Sit in stillness. Let the breath soften. Let the mind become clear. Call upon your highest self, the aspect of you that transcends time and form. Speak inwardly with intention. I release all vows that no longer serve my soul's path. I reclaim my power, not through force, but through wisdom. I remember who I truly am. Feel these words not as wishful thinking, but as energetic truth. Let them ripple through your body, your aura, your past and future selves. You are not here by accident. You are here by choice, by vow, by love. The M on your palm is not just a symbol, it is a doorway. Will you walk through it? If there are any vows or contracts from past lives that no longer serve my highest path, I now release them in full awareness and compassion. I choose to live from clarity, love, and wisdom. Visualize the vow dissolving, like mist in the morning sunlight, not erased, but transmuted. This is not a performance. This is a spiritual declaration, a conscious step out of the past into the full brilliance of the present. Living as a modern-day bodhisattva. In the Mahayana tradition, the greatest aspiration is not to awaken alone, but to bring all beings across the shore. This is the path of the bodhisattva, the one who, even at the gates of nirvana, turns back to lift another. What if the M on your palm is a reminder of that ancient promise? A soul's echo that says, I did not come here just to survive. I came to serve, not from martyrdom, but from the joy of remembrance. You can live this vow in gentle, grounded ways. Speak truth, gently, even when it trembles in your throat. Offer your presence to those who feel invisible. Turn your own healing into a lantern for others. Each mindful act becomes a ripple through time, touching lives unseen. The mirror of synchronicity. Once you begin to walk this path, life will speak to you. You'll notice recurring numbers, the final digit of your birth year, appearing again and again. People who arrive with a strangely familiar energy. Dreams that don't feel random, but like messages in disguise. These are not coincidences. They are echoes of your soul's blueprint, gently nudging you toward remembrance. And as you remember, you'll know, you chose this body. You chose this moment. Because something within you once whispered, I am ready to grow. I am ready to give. I am ready to awaken. Final reflection. What legacy are you writing? The last digit of your birth year reveals a past life lesson. The M on your palm reveals a soul contract, but only you can decide what the present moment will reveal. Will you relive the same cycles, or will you become the one who breaks them for yourself and for others? If something stirred inside you during this journey, an old memory, a quiet knowing, a tear you didn't expect, honor it. This is your soul knocking softly. You are not here by mistake. You are here on purpose, and your purpose is sacred. Your next steps on the path. I invite you now to pause and reflect. Journal your insights. Write about the last digit of your birth year, what it means to you. What old patterns are you finally ready to release? Study your palm. Look again at the M. Trace it with reverence. Ask, what does this mark call me toward? Begin a daily mindfulness practice. Even just 10 minutes a day can reconnect you to lifetimes of wisdom. Share this video if someone you love bears the M or is quietly searching for meaning. This may be the mirror their soul has been waiting for. Subscribe and stay connected. This is just the beginning. Together, we'll continue to explore karma, soul contracts, and spiritual awakening through the lens of Buddhist teachings and timeless wisdom. From my heart to yours, may you walk gently, may you walk bravely, may you walk with purpose, and above all, may you always remember, the truth is not out there. The truth is already within you, quietly waiting to be remembered.